All right, I'm going to have a go at the Guardian's Cryptic Crossword for Thursday, March 27th, sent today by Anto. We just had Anto for the Cryptic at the weekend. Let's see what Anto has for us. Buckle is not commonly something potential combatants wear. I'm wondering if it is something potential combatants wear. Is not commonly could be ain't. So maybe we put a word for buckle, which could be a verb. Oh, like as in to buckle, to bend. Yeah, but I can't think of something they would wear. All right, how about fancy that chap going after women? That chap could be him, and then women might be W. And so we get a whim or a fancy. Oh, so now our buckle starts with a W. Something they would wear. Ooh, war paint. Yeah, buckle might be warp. Very good. Also a good band called Warpaint. Sound shocked by Republican stench. I'm thinking the R stands for Republican. And so then we're going to have a three-letter word for stench, and it's going to mean sound shocked. I don't get that. What would the stench be? No. Story lacking intro can still yield results. All right, I think yield results might be the definition. A story, a word for story without its first letter. I'm thinking tail. And then can could be tin. Still, yeah. Maybe just results. Answers. No, I don't see it. How about, 13-letter one. Spy a vital tiny modification needed for seasonal pageants. All right. Does spy a vital tiny have 13 letters? I think it does. 4 plus 5 is 9, plus 4, 13. Modification needed, telling us to anagram those nativity plays, I think. Very unseasonable clue there. Let me finish the downs that come from the top row. Small change that can do widespread damage. I wonder if it's S for small and then a word for change, and it's something that can do widespread damage. I don't see it. Sports cars with no room for third wheel. Clever. A two-seater would be a sports car, and a third wheel, of course, can be an extra person on a date. So just a excuse me, a cryptic definition there. All right, a model lives in these conditions. Model, we've seen before, it can be a Model T, so maybe that is the T. In fact, it may be a T. A model. Oh no, I think A is A. And if you model, we've seen this before, if you model for a painter, you sit for them. And lives is often used to indicate is or exists. And so as it is in these conditions, yeah. A client is terribly inflexible. All right, must be an anagram of a client is. must be in for inflexible, not intractable, oh, how about inelastic, I think? Yeah, there we go. So now our sound shocked. I'm wondering if you're shocked, they often say you reel from bad news. So could eel, I'm wondering if stench, apart from being a bad smell, at the back of my mind is that it might be an old name for a fish like a Neil. Let me pause and look that up. No, file that one under wishful thinking. All right, and that was our story. Also, it's not going to be a tale. No, let's go on. Extremely rough on East River. The extreme letters of rough are R and H. RH and on, and then E for east, and the Rhone is a river. I like it. They require a hand when performing. Ooh, yeah, I immediately thought of puppets, and it is in fact glove puppets that V was very useful, and my typing was not useful. All right. That's our small change, a small change that can do widespread damage. Oh, it could be change as in a small coin, threepence, stripper, scrapper. No. Oh, I never looked at this one. Frantically resists pet, becoming something acquired following divorce. Yeah, maybe it is something acquired. Yeah, I mean, that does seem to be telling us, and I think frantically is telling us to anagram resists pet and something acquired following. Yeah, I was trying to see how could it be step. I think it's step sister is the anagram. I think a better definition would have been following remarriage. Yeah, I suppose it does eventually follow or could follow divorce. But anyway, that's nitpicking, I know. But I love to pick at the nits. One renting London accommodation, it follows a period in USA. Oh, well, after a period that ends one sentence, the next begins with a capital. Next sentence begins with a capital letter. Yeah, so one renting. I'm not sure why USA. Is it a difference in spelling? I think it's capital, AL. I think the capital is the building that would be in the capital. Um, yeah, I'm fairly confident in that, but maybe it's not. Maybe even though I've lived in the US a long time, maybe it is spelt differently. Yeah, I don't quite get the USA. Other than maybe you could write USA with a period. Oh, of course, now I get it. Because it would be a full stop in Britain. See, that's the problem when you've lived somewhere a long time, you begin to forget these differences. let's try this down because it would give us some nice starting letters. Consort, excuse me, with mariner, supplying spooner with alcohol. Well, I'm going to pause, sip my water, and ponder that. No, I don't have this. I'm thinking the definition is consort with. And then for spooner, it's going to sound something like sailor's ale or, yeah, something like that. Let's go back to the acrosses. Central tribes hide in the same place. So the middle letters of tribes and hide are IB, ID, and IBID. You would see in a reference in a book, meaning referring you back to the same place in the previous reference. Regulations, oh, I'm thinking statutes. Blocked by alien is ET, and that's going to give us statuettes, our figures. Slippery politician's career path. That's a great one. I am wondering if it is something like a stripper's pole or something, something pole, something. Oh, of course, it could be POLL. A politician has to. Yeah, I think with a question mark, that's going to be a very clever one, but I don't see it. Celtic language employed in Somerset, well hidden within Somerset, is Erse, an old Celtic language. House representatives get at Senate's corruption. Who get at Senate's is 12 letters. So I wonder if we corrupt or anagram that. To get House representatives. Now, of course, the whole surface reading sounds like the US Congress, but I think it might just be to do with domestic matters, a house, or it could be in a school, like in Harry Potter or something. House representatives, something agents. Yeah, we do have the letters of agents. All right, I'm going to pause and think about, yeah, something to do with buying property, maybe. Of course, I was trying to remember the British term for what in the US would be called a realtor, estate agents. There we go. Something bloggers hope to get being all the same. Well, I don't know if blogging is still a thing. I suppose they call it different names now. There's Substack and all of that. I suppose at heart it's still blogging. But I used to love the old days of Blogspot. Something bloggers hope to get. I suppose views being all the same. No, I don't get that. Decide where to go for whatever food's available. Oh, I'm wondering if it's something to do with like set menus in a restaurant, whatever food is available, or maybe there's some other term. Potluck, of course. Yeah, I think I'm probably set. Decide where to go. Set sail, set your bearings, set the route, set something. No. Butcher with tin fork becomes farmer. Again, we had a becoming indicator in a previous clue, so I think the wordplay is going to be butcher with tin fork. Tin, I think, is SN. I think all of that is going to become another type of farmer. butcher could be anagramming, but I don't think it is here. Cut. And then what's the fork? I'm wondering if like butcher goes in between the S and N, it forks it in some way. No. It's good form to make first pass. That's a great clue. Yeah, I don't see that one. All right, dismiss a material military order. Ooh. Yeah, I don't get that. Yeah, maybe it is a military order, something maybe a sergeant major would say. Something at, yeah, I think that must be at, could be it, but I think it's going to be, oh, fire at will, maybe. Dismiss would be fire. And A is A, and twill is the material. Sweater I unraveled in a way. Well, sweater I is 8 letters, so we're going to unravel or anagram that in a way. Let's try the anagram helper. All right. Yeah, where's the W going to go? And what are the two-letter words going to be? It or at? Oh, as, in a way. Something where, maybe? There's going to be another E left over then. No, not seeing this one. All right, I paused to clear my throat and I spotted what I'm sure you all saw immediately, as it were. Oh, how do I get, oh, there we go. All right. As it were, in a way. Oops. So we have as it is, and now we have as it were. I don't know if that's a theme or just coincidence. All right, funding source doesn't regularly make this the upper limit. The upper limit, I'm thinking at most, but I don't see how funding source doesn't regularly. Yeah, that almost suggests like we take every other letter, but the upper limit, I'm going to put in at most. Something about atmosphere, no. Reptile found when bottom of jar removed. All right, I think we're going to think of a word for jar, which might be a receptacle, or it could be to jar, to shock. And when we remove the last letter, we get a reptile. Now I can only think of toad. Starts to find every little lesion to be malign. All right, so we're going to get the starting letters of find every little lesion. We had the word fell the other day as a moor, but here I think it's a very old meaning. A fell, plot, could be a malign plot. All right, so now it's good form to make first pass. Yeah, I'm wondering if it's an FUL word. But I'm not seeing it. And this was our decide where to go for whatever foods available. Oh, set course. Yes, so I was on the right lines with my set menu. You might have a set course in a restaurant, I think. And that was the phrase I was trying to think of. Could it be frog? But what would the jar be? No, I think there must be some other. Oh, if it is an FUL word underneath, I don't think so. I don't think something R, something F. I can't think of any word for that. Here's our butcher with tin fork. Maybe a tiller? Oh, oh, wow. It is a tiller. I think this is one of the cheekiest lift and separates I've ever seen. You have to read tin fork as T in 4K, and then you have to think a butcher might be a killer, and you replace the K with a T in 4K. My goodness. Yeah, I think it's my first time. We've certainly seen replace one letter with another, but I've never seen them written misleadingly like that before. I do like it though. Uh, Only because I got it. If I'd been spending another hour looking at it, then I may not like it so much. All right, so our slippery politician's career path now is oh, a grease. There is a, I think a greased pole might be part of some fun activity where you have to climb up a pole that's been covered in grease. Well, what would that do for 13 down then, if that was a G? Consort with mariner, supplying spooner with alcohol. Single, oh, mingle. Consort with mariner, mingle. Yeah, and then I'm trying to also make like a single. Yeah, single malt is the alcohol. I had port in mind as well, but single malt, and I think, yeah, mingle salt, obviously consort with mariner. I find the supplying verb very misleading there, and not in a delightful way like tin fork. Yeah, I don't know about that one. Anyway, I am yeah thinking this is a grease pole. Yeah, again, I don't fully understand it. Yeah, don't. I may be wrong too, of course, in which case ignore everything I'm saying. All right. So, yeah, I suppose anyone who posts something online hopes to get a like. and things that are alike are the same, are similar anyway. All right, so yeah, story lacking intro can still yield results. I'm wondering about avails. I think you say like all your effort came to no avail, like no results. So I'm wondering about avails, story lacking intro. Well, what's the story? Travails? Yeah, I'm not very confident about this one, but I'll leave it in. And now our small change that can do widespread damage. Let me pause and ponder that one. Yeah, I'm finding it hard to think. I think the letter after the S must be a C or a T. So I'm going to put in scrapper. I'm sure that's not the right answer. Let's go ahead and check that. No, oh, that is an A. But it's not double P. Oh, and it's not ER. Let me pause and ponder that. Well, there is shrapnel, which definitely can do widespread damage. But why is that small change? Yeah, I do not see that one at all. That must be very clever. All right, let's try. Yeah, I still cannot think of any stench words. I'm going to put in my reel and let's check that one. Oh, so close. Sound shocked. So it must be E something for a stench. No, I'm not. Oh, I'm wondering about a reef as a sound in the maritime sense. Not exactly sure what a sound is. I thought it was like a bay of some kind, but I'm wondering if that could be reef. Let's check that. No, all right. I've had 2 bites of that cherry. Let's reveal it. Oh, reek, of course. Oh, it's the other way round. Ah, yeah, that's a little. So if you sound shocked, you might say eek, and that goes by, but it goes after the the Republican to make the stench. Oh, that's very tricky as well. All right, here's our reptile, which might be a frog. All right, what if that was a G there? It's good form. Let me pause and ponder this one. I did think of the word protocol would be good form. Oh, the first of something might be proto, and then a pass in a geographic sense up in a mountain pass, I think can be a call. We've seen that word before. All right, so now jar. We're going to think of a 5-letter jar, remove its last letter, and get a reptile. Oh, a croc, of course. Okay. The old Kenny Rogers song, Lucille, Terry Wogan pretended he thought the lyrics were 400 children and a croc in the field. I still remember that. Good old Terry. All right, I'm not very confident today in my check all, but let's go ahead. Oh, I never, oh no, I did. Yeah, I tried avails on that one, so yet again, another one wrong today. At least my time is good. I'm not wasting as much of your time, but still, story lacking intro can still yield results. All right, let me pause and ponder that. Well, I couldn't come up with any good words for that, so I resorted to wordplays.com and I saw arable and realized it's parable without the P, so story lacking intro. So again, a very obscure definition can still yield results is arable as in arable land. Oh, this isn't grease pole, it's greasy pole. I never noticed that. Yeah, I suppose that's a little more likely. So slippery is greasy. A politician can definitely be shortened to Paul. You often see that in the US. And a career path, I still don't get it, so we'll have to go to 15 squared. All right, did we have a pangram? I don't think I saw a J. That's always the letter I look out for. I don't know if that is the one to check. Of course, X's, and yeah, I don't think we had an X either. And then I didn't see a theme other than the two phrases as it is, as it were. No. All right, let's head over to 15 squared. All right, the blog today is by Eileen, who does point out he's working overtime. Neat anagrams, but rather more cryptic definitions than I'd like. Yeah, I'd agree with that. In a couple of cases where the cryptic grammar doesn't quite work. I smiled at as it were after as it is. All right. I think I followed most of the acrosses until that. Oh, I'm glad to see Eileen says greasy pole. I can't quite see this. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yes, and that T in 4K, that's great. Arable. Oh, there's a mismatch in the grammar. All right, yeah, I'm going to use that as an excuse. Oh, and she also questioned Reek the way I did. I think it's acceptable. You know, we do sometimes see the charade parts in that different order to where how you actually write them, one thing by another, but yeah, it does make it a lot harder than it needs to be. Shrapnel is a double definition. Maybe in slang, people refer in Britain to a lot of small coins as shrapnel. If so, that's something I've never heard of. And then mingle with salt. I still don't like the supplying. I'm surprised Eileen didn't question that one. Anyway, Alan, I thought this was easier, though easier than his recent cryptic. Well, you'll see my video next Monday. I thought it was all right. Yeah, da, 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 da. Usage for small change derives from the ammunition. Yeah, again, not something I'm not aware of. Yeah, so maybe this quote from Disraeli. I've climbed to the top of a greasy pole. Yeah. All right. Well, quite tricky in places, but at least, as I said, I did move through it fairly smartly. Yeah, and shrapnel held out until the bitter end. All right. Well, thanks as always for watching and have a wonderful day.